Imagine a book thousands of years old, holding secrets to the future, secrets so precise they name dates, places, and people, from the fiery devastation of Hiroshima to the looming shadows of wars yet to unfold. A book that whispers warnings of World War III, a second American Civil War, and tensions between Iran and Israel. This isn't science fiction. This is the Bible code, a hidden language buried in the ancient Hebrew scriptures, uncovered by mathematicians, cryptologists, and dreamers who dared to ask, what if the future is already written?
Welcome to a journey through time, faith, and mystery. A journey that begins with a single question. Could the Bible, a sacred text for billions, hold the key to humanity's past, present, and future? From the assassination of a prime minister to the atomic scars of Hiroshima, from modern conflicts in the Middle East to the specter of global war, the Bible code claims to predict it all. But is it divine prophecy, alien technology, or just our desperate need to find meaning in chaos? Buckle up, because this story is going to shake you to your core. Let's start at the beginning. The Hebrew Bible, or Torah, is one of the oldest texts in human history, written between 2,000 and 3,000 years ago. For Jews, Christians, and Muslims, over half the world's population, this is more than a book. It's the Word of God, a sacred blueprint of faith. Scribes who copied the Torah were obsessive about accuracy. One misplaced letter, one smudged character, and the entire manuscript was buried. Why? Because to alter God's word was unthinkable. But what if there was another reason? What if the Torah's precision wasn't just about faith, but about protecting a code that held the secrets of the universe?
In the late 13th century, Rabbi Bachya ben Asher stumbled onto something extraordinary. While studying the book of Genesis, he tried a strange method. He read 4 letters, skipped 42, read another 4, and kept going. When he strung those letters together, they formed a new passage about the creation of the moon, pinpointing the lunar month's length at 29.53 days. That's a number so precise it wasn't confirmed by NASA until centuries later. Was this a coincidence, or had Rabbi ben Asher cracked open a hidden layer of the Bible? Fast forward to the 1940s, Rabbi H.M.D. Weissmandel took this idea further, calling it an equidistant letter sequence, or ELS, or skip code. Pick a letter, skip a fixed number of letters, say every 10th or 50th, and see what words emerge. It was painstaking work, like solving a cosmic puzzle by hand. But when computers arrived, everything changed. Suddenly, researchers could scan the Torah's 304,805 letters in seconds, uncovering patterns no human could dream of finding.
In 1985, 3 Israeli mathematicians, Eliyahu Rips, Doron Witztum, and Yoav Rosenberg, decided to test this ancient idea with modern tech. They called it the Great Rabbi's Experiment. They took the names of 34 famous Jewish sages from the Encyclopedia of Great Men in Israel, men who lived centuries after the Torah was written. Using a computer program, they searched the Hebrew text for these names, arranged in skip sequences and laid out in grids, like a divine word search. The results were staggering. Every single name was there, 34 out of 34, encoded in the Torah's letters. But it got wilder. When they searched the grids horizontally, vertically, and diagonally,
They found the rabbis' birth and death dates intersecting their names. They ran the test again with 32 more names. Same result. In total, 166 sages, born hundreds or thousands of years after the Torah, were encoded with eerie precision. The odds? 1 in 10 million, according to their calculations. They published their findings in Statistical Science in 1994, and the world took notice.
But not everyone was convinced. Harold Gans, a senior cryptologist at the NSA, scoffed at the idea. Nonsense, he called it, comparing it to Bigfoot or UFOs. His wife challenged him. How do you know it's nonsense if you haven't looked? So Gans built his own program to disprove the code. Instead, he found the same rabbis' names, plus their places of birth and death. A skeptic turned believer, Gans joined the chorus of those asking, "What is this code, and who put it there?"
The Bible code didn't stay in academic circles. In 1992, American journalist Michael Drosnin, a self-proclaimed atheist, stumbled onto the story while reporting in Israel. He met Dr. Rips and was skeptical until he saw the evidence. Drosnin extended his stay, diving deep into the code. Over the next few years, he and Rips uncovered over 1,000 events encoded in the Torah, from ancient prophecies to modern tragedies. The Bible wasn't just a religious text, it was a map of history.
Take Yitzhak Rabin, Israel's prime minister. In 1994, Drosnin found Rabin's name in the book of Genesis, crossed by the chilling phrase, "Assassin will assassinate." Nearby was the Hebrew year 5756, 1995-1996. Drosnin sent a warning to Rabin, pleading with him to take it seriously. Rabin didn't listen. On November 4, 1995, he was gunned down by Yigal Amir. The code had predicted the exact year, the event, and even hinted at the killer's identity. Drosnin was shaken. This wasn't just a theory anymore. It was real, and it was terrifying.
Then there was Saddam Hussein. In 1990, Rips input Hussein's name into the program. The code revealed Saddam Hussein crossed with Russian missile and fire on third Shabbat. On January 18, 1991, not 1990, as some early reports misstated, Iraq fired Russian-made Scud missiles into Israel, sparking the Gulf War. The code had nailed the event, the weapon, and the timing, down to the week. But what about Hiroshima? The atomic bombing of Hiroshima on August 6, 1945, changed the world forever. A single bomb, little boy, dropped from the Enola Gay, killed tens of thousands instantly, leaving scars that linger today. Drosnin's research found the word Hiroshima, Hyroshima, in Hebrew, Hiroshima, intersected with fire from the heavens and blisters and boils. To anyone who knows history, those phrases scream atomic bomb and radiation sickness. But did the code predict the exact date, as some claim? The Hebrew calendar equivalent, 21 of 5705, wasn't explicitly mentioned in Drosnin's work, but the proximity of these terms in a single matrix is haunting. Could an ancient text really foresee a 20th century catastrophe?
Dramatic document. The Bible code doesn't stop at the past. As tensions in the Middle East escalate, the code has been scoured for clues about our present. In recent years, Iran and Israel have been locked in a shadow war. Drone strikes, cyber attacks, and nuclear threats.
In 2024, reports surfaced of Israeli airstrikes on Iranian military targets, retaliation for missile barrages linked to Iran's proxies. Could the Bible code have seen this coming? Researchers, building on Drosnin's methods, have found Iran and Israel in close proximity in the book of Deuteronomy, crossed by phrases like missile strike and nuclear shadow. The Hebrew year 5784, 2025 appears nearby, chillingly accurate for the recent flare-ups. These findings, shared on platforms like X, have sparked heated debates. Some call it prophecy, others call it coincidence. But when you see the names of nations and weapons aligning with real-world events, it's hard not to feel a shiver down your spine.
The code also hints at broader conflicts. In 2023, posts on X claimed to find Ukraine and Russia encoded with war in 2022, aligning with Russia's invasion. These aren't isolated incidents. The code seems to pulse with warnings about our world, from geopolitical clashes to natural disasters. Earthquakes in Turkey, tsunamis in Indonesia, the 2008 financial crisis, all have been linked to matrices in the Torah. Each discovery feels like a heartbeat, urging us to listen.
Even more unsettling is a prediction tied to the United States. The code, some claim, foreshadows a second American Civil War around 2027, linked to political turmoil surrounding Donald Trump. In Genesis, matrices show America, division, and Trump crossed with 2027 and civil strife. The Hebrew year 5787, 2026-2027 appears, alongside phrases like cities burn and brother against brother. With political polarization in the U.S. at fever pitch, evidenced by heated rhetoric on X and protests in 2024, this prediction feels less like fantasy and more like a warning we can't ignore.
These future predictions aren't set in stone. Drosnin believed the code reveals possible futures, not inevitable ones. It's a call to action, a chance to change our path. But the weight of these warnings, World War III, a fractured America, hits like a punch to the gut. If the code is right, we're standing on the edge of history, and the choices we make now could decide whether we fall or rise.
Before we get carried away, let's hear from the skeptics. The Bible code has faced fierce criticism, and for good reason. In 1999, Australian mathematician Brendan Mackay published a bombshell paper in Statistical Science, the same journal that ran Rip's study. Mackay showed that ELS patterns aren't unique to the Bible. He found the assassination of Yitzhak Rabin, Princess Diana's death, and even 9/11 references in Moby Dick. Yes, Herman Melville's novel about a whale. He even found phrases about 9/11 in Vanilla Ice lyrics. Stop, collaborate, and listen. Apparently, even Ice has a code.
Mackay's point? If you have a long enough text and flexible enough rules, you can find anything. The Torah's 304,805 letters are a playground for pattern seekers. Ancient Hebrew, lacking vowels, makes it easier to form words from consonants. Add in loose search parameters, nicknames, partial dates, or vague phrases like fire from the heavens, and you've got a recipe for confirmation bias. Mackay argued that Rip's methodology was flawed. Counting a correct month but wrong year as a match or accepting initials like EAP for Elvis Presley inflates the results.
The text of the Torah isn't perfectly identical to ancient copies either. The Dead Sea Scrolls, for example, show minor discrepancies, enough to disrupt a computer program searching for exact skip sequences. If one letter is off, the whole matrix collapses. So is the Bible code a divine message or a human illusion? Our minds desperate to find order in randomness?
Here's where the story takes a wild turn. Drosnin, ever the maverick, believed the Bible code held a master key, a stone obelisk buried in Jordan near the Red Sea. This wasn't just a rock. It was supposedly a Rosetta Stone for the code, capable of unlocking every prediction and preventing disasters like nuclear war. In 2002, Drosnin convinced the Jordanian government to grant excavation permits. Archaeologists, geologists, and researchers descended on the desert, hearts pounding with anticipation. They were on the verge of rewriting history.
Then, at the last minute, the permit was revoked. Political tensions in the Middle East, as volatile as ever, slammed the doors shut. The obelisk remains buried, if it exists at all. Drosnin, undeterred, suggested an extraordinary idea. The code wasn't the work of God, but of an advanced intelligence, possibly extraterrestrial. Imagine an alien supercomputer operating at a quantum level, encoding every possible future into the Torah's letters. It's a theory that sounds like sci-fi, but Drosnin argued it explained the code's precision. Who needs divine intervention when you've got aliens with a cosmic typewriter?
Let's pause for a moment. The Bible code isn't just about numbers and letters. It's about hope, fear, and the human need to understand our place in the universe. When I read about Hiroshima, tens of thousands gone in a flash, survivors carrying scars for generations, it breaks my heart. If the code predicted that tragedy, it's not just a curiosity, it's a plea to learn from the past. When I see Iran and Israel encoded with nuclear shadow, I feel the weight of a world on the brink. And when I think about a second civil war in America, my stomach churns. I don't want to believe my neighbors could turn against each other, but the code's warnings feel too real to ignore. This isn't about fear-mongering, it's about responsibility. If the code is real, it's a gift, a chance to see the road ahead and steer away from disaster. Drosnin believed we could change the future, and that belief drives me to keep searching, to keep asking questions. Whether it's God, aliens, or something beyond our understanding, the code challenges us to be better, to choose peace over war, unity over division.
The Bible code's predictions: World War III, a second civil war, Iran's nuclear ambitions aren't destiny, they're warnings. Drosnin's work with Rabin showed that the code can be a wake-up call, even if Rabin didn't heed it. Today, as tensions rise globally, we have a choice. We can ignore the signs, on X, in the news, in the code, or we can act. Diplomacy in the Middle East, unity in America, restraint in global conflicts, these are our tools to rewrite the script. The code's greatest gift isn't prediction, it's empowerment. It tells us the future is ours to shape. If World War III looms in 2026, we can push for peace now. If America faces division in 2027, we can bridge the gaps today. The Torah's letters, whether guided by God, aliens, or human ingenuity, are a call to action. They scream, "Wake up! You have the power to change this."
So, is the Bible code real? I don't know. The skeptic in me sees McKay's point. Patterns can emerge anywhere if you look hard enough. But the dreamer in me can't shake the feeling that there's something more. The Torah, unchanged for millennia, feels like a time capsule, holding secrets we're only beginning to understand. From Rabin's assassination to Hiroshima's flames, from Iran's missiles to the wars of tomorrow, the code challenges everything we think we know. I'm not asking you to believe in divine prophecy or alien computers. I'm asking you to feel the weight of this mystery, to stand in awe of a text that survived empires, wars, and time itself.
to wonder if, just maybe, we're part of a story bigger than ourselves. The Bible code isn't about answers, it's about questions. And as long as mysteries exist, we have a duty to chase them. So let's keep searching for the obelisk in Jordan, for the truth behind Hiroshima, for the courage to face what's coming. Because in the end, it's not about what the code predicts, it's about what we do with it. Be safe, be kind, and know that you are part of this incredible, maddening, beautiful story.